Yes, we're hoping Joe Collins, we want to bring him in. He is a congressional candidate in the LA area. He's running against Maxine Waters. So we want to bring Joe in now. Joe, welcome to the program.
Hey, you guys, how are you, Matt? Good to see you guys. Hey, how are you?
Good
Good
to
to see
see
you.
you.
Good to see you again. Thank you.
Good to see you too. So what do you know about what's going on with these nuclear tests that we have that are being reported? What do you think is going on with China?
Well, I can tell you this for starters. China's their government is a lie. They're lied. They lied about the virus. And you know, for a government that would lie about a virus, I mean, we talk about 2 million people that's been infected with this virus, over 130 or 40,000 people who has already died from this virus. So we're going to trust China to get nuclear weapons or have testing for nuclear weapons. I think that the United States needs to step in and put more sanctions on China. We have to do something. We got to get tough on China. We've already had an Obama administration that was playing buddy-buddy with China and allowed them to sell us cheap products, cheap materials at market value. I mean, it's time that the United States take a charge and do what the president has been doing and add more sanctions, add more tariffs to China and tell them, like, look, we're not going to take this anymore. You have to be honest. Be honest about the numbers. Be honest about where the virus came from. Take responsibility and help us do something about it.
Well, and Joe, we certainly appreciate that. It looks like President Trump has taken that lead. We're seeing the information that's coming out of China, and it seems like we're having an escalation of sorts going on over there. Do you know anything about that?
Well, what I can say this, I've seen China and their military activity, and I think that the United States need to get aggressive, and we need to deploy our forces over where China is and make sure they're not doing anything they're not supposed to. But I can say this, I don't blame China for actively deploying their military and getting ready for something because, worldwide, globally, 130,000 people, 140,000 people that have died from a virus that originated in China. We have to do something about it. And so they're scared. They're scared the United States might take action against China, whether it's military action or whether it's more tariffs. Personally, I think that we need to start, taking military action. I think we need to start imposing more tariffs. I think we need to be more tough on China.
What is going on now in California? We've heard your governor who has been saying that the president has been working with him well, but we know that there's a lot of problems on the streets of LA. You're running for that district. How is that? How are the homeless people staying safe there? And what would you do to help that problem once you are in office?
Well, I can tell you this. What Gavin Newsom is doing, he does a lot of great things, but then he turns around and do things that we're not too fond of here in California. He's created a bill to give over $150 million to illegal immigrants. And you're right, while we have, homeless citizens on the ground still sleeping outside. He's also, tried to create laws that will fine people with $1,000 for being outside without a mask on or without any type of protective equipment on. And I think that, and I said this on Twitter, I say this a lot. All of a sudden we have this Chinese virus and people forgot about the homelessness in California. I mean, Nancy Pelosi eating gourmet ice cream while her streets are still riddled with drugs and homeless people dying on the streets. Same thing. Maxine Waters, Adam Schiff, the people who are the proponents of trying to impeach our president, who are doing something for our community, are living in their nice mansions in their neighborhoods, but they're forgetting about people who live in the city. They're forgetting about people who live on the streets. They're forgetting about homeless people. Now, what I've been doing is I've been working with an array of community organizations to be able to provide resources to people who live on the streets, homeless people, and people who live in the impoverished area of the inner cities. I've donated $1,000 yesterday, and I'll continue to donate thousands of dollars to help the people who live in South Los Angeles, because I believe that if our politicians are not doing what they're supposed to do, I'm going to start now so people can see that you don't have to be in office and in order to make a difference, and they can see that what we have in office right now is not normal. Instead of eating gourmet ice cream in your house and being distant, I think people need to be in the streets. We need to be helping out our homeless population. We need to be helping out our impoverished areas.
Well, Joe, I've got a question here. We've got just a couple minutes left, so we'll finish up with this one. We're watching as President Trump came out yesterday, and he's saying, hey, we want to reopen America, and here are the phases. We know California has been, on the lower level of, the coronavirus. They're not New York, New Jersey, or anything like that. Have you heard of anything on California and when they might start reopening their economy?
As of now, I haven't heard anything about reopening the economy, but I'll tell you what, what we need to do as a people, we need to go out and we need to start protesting, just like every other state, to open back up our economy, because it's easy to say that, okay, so coronavirus is going to kill this amount of people without any accurate data. But one thing that they forget about is we have no quality jobs in California. So, you know, the president, he did the stimulus package with the $1,200 per family, but the cost of living in California is extraordinary. You know, and so the $1,200 is not going to help us. We have to open up our economy. We have to open back up the United States. And if Gavin Newsom won't do it, we'll side with the president and we'll open up our state ourselves.
Well, Joe, how can people help you? This is the good part of the show here. How can they find you? How can they help you? How can they donate?
Go to my website, joecollinsforcongress.com. Please donate to my website. I am helping the community organizations. I am helping feed the homeless in the streets. I am helping give back to our communities. Also, you can find me on Twitter, Joe Collins 43rd, and you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Collins for Congress 43.
Thank you so much, Joe Collins. He's running for Congress out there in Maxine Waters District, the 43rd. Thank you so much for joining us today.